Good day, YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around the world. What did we get done this week? I just did my first cannon. Cannon. I don't know what else you'd call it. But we finished up the little stepping boards to go around this windlass hoist. In the comments, tell me what that thing really is called, because they don't really notate the name of it in the instructions. So after I got that glued on where these little beams would glue down to the deck so you can put your feet against there and push on this, I went ahead and made two more baling pin racks, and I made these out of walnut instead of the basswood or whatever comes in the kit, because they wanted these out of basswood and I made them out of walnut instead, just so you get some contrast there from the light colored deck boards too. Those little foot support boards. So I did the same thing with the baling pin rack. That called for basswood too, and I went a little bit thicker than the one in the plans, and I pre-measured these baling pins so I could get a good idea of the fit. And I did do this earlier. I wish I would have made the board a little wider, but that's what it only called for, so I can get the rope around there. That's all that matters. And they fit perfectly. So I'm pretty sure we used the same thing over here. Yep. So the next thing in the instructions was to cut all these gun pieces out of the laser cut walnut, and there's only one type of size cannon here, so I went ahead and just cut one out to see how hard it's going to be and what all I need to do it, and went ahead and assembled one and glued it up. Where wood and metal touch, or metal and metal touch each other, instead of CA glue, I'm using this. It's probably like a CA glue. I'd have to read it. It does have cyanoacrylate in it, but it's also got ethol, which I don't think regular CA glue does. And it seems to be not brittle like the regular CA glue. So I use that to glue these wheels on and the shaft to the wood. And I use regular wood glue to glue the three pieces of framing together. And I just cut these pieces of shaft off with the nippers, and I'm going to go back after this dries and put the edge of it against something and file those cuts so they're a little cleaner. And then we may add some of the brass black or something like that in certain areas, just to give it some more realism. There's the first of 8 cannons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that shouldn't take too long to assemble all those. And they're not too hard to do. They give us pieces of brass rod in the kit that are 2 different sizes. So we're able to glue them up pretty easily. So after we do the cannons, get it zoomed in here where you guys can see it. Finished up the windlass. There's another post to put on. I got it made up. And 3 lengths of that rod. So after we get those glued up, we got to make up a bunch of blocks to go with the cannons. And this looks like they're twisting wire to create an eyelet to wrap the block. And then they're using a brass eyelet to stick in the frame of the ship. Yep. Little rings on one end and an eyelet pin on the other. Those are going to be tedious. I hate working with little blocks, but we'll use the bench vise to work those. And then the battery drill to drill our holes. So that's the finished product. You got 2 support straps. Two anchor spots that go to the gunny wall. One eyelet in the back of the cannon to pull it back. I'm just looking on this cannon to see the space I have to drill and all, what I got to mount on there. So that shouldn't be too hard. It's just going to take a long time because all that detail. This one here in the back is this strapping. I don't see a place to attach it. Almost looks like it's just laying on there. Interesting. Yeah, there's no ringlets or anything. So we'll have to figure that out when we get to it. I'm going to sit down and make up some cannons and call it a week because I've been busy as a rat like usual. I didn't do a whole lot in here. I had a leak on my irrigation system, is I wanted to tie a pressurized line into the greenhouse, because we're starting to get rain now every day, which is great for everything else. I don't have to water. And there's a sensor up there on the eave for the Rainbird sprinkler system, and that sensor senses whether or not it rained out, and it won't let the sprinkler system come on if it rains. So that means that the zone that feeds this greenhouse won't run, and this doesn't get any water in it when it rains because it's covered. So I got to be able to water this manually. So I got that bypass valve in there from the sink over here, which is pressurized water all the time. And when I hooked it up, I had a leak down there, and I had a leak up here where the valve was. So I had to take them all apart and get some new fittings, put it back together. But this is pressurized water all the time now. And when I need to water the greenhouse and the sprinkler system won't let it come on, I just operate that valve, and voila, we get water. Just got to remember to turn it off when I'm done. So that was one little problem I fought for several hours, trying to get that straightened out. And I did some work over at my dad's house. Chicks are starting to grow up, getting some weight to them. I change that water every day because they messed it up, even though it's up off the ground there. But they do eat and sleep, and eat and sleep and play a little bit. They'll run around in there and chase each other. They're cute. They're cute to watch. And our baby birds on the shed there are growing up too. Mama's been doing a pretty good job of taking care of them. I can see two in there. She's just now coming back with the worm for them. She's in and out all day long, trying to keep them fed. So let me get to work on this cannon project. Thanks for watching.